Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're finally reviewing Totally Spies Season 7. I know, it's been months, but it's finally here, so let's get to it. Let's start off with our spies themselves, Sam, Clover, and Alex. Apparently they haven't been on missions for over 6 months, and out of all of them, Clover is the one who's worried about getting fired. It's not like they don't have other career options. And at this point, they've confirmed the fact that being spies are their actual jobs, and they are getting paid now. It's about time they got paid. To think Jerry owes them 4 years worth of paychecks. As for the girls, their personalities remain more or less the same, with a few new hobbies here and there, like Sam with her cooking and Clover with her vlogs, with the exception of being slightly bit more goofy, but hey, it's not that big of a stretch. With the exception of Jerry's character, who is entirely goofy. It's like he lost his serious personality entirely. It's not like he didn't have a comedic side before, but it was more subtle than it is now. It feels as though he does not have a serious attitude towards anything anymore. He used to be goofy in a way that was entertaining but still made a point across to be serious. It was a fun mix of both. Now it feels like Totally Spies has lost their comedic timing and serious plot points. I mean, to be fair, it was mostly episodic centric, but still, they still had storylines and plot. It feels as though Jerry's 2 personalities have been split between himself and his daughter Zerlina. Speaking of Zerlina, she is somehow the new head of WOOHP for some reason. What, did she just inherit the company? Now I actually feel bad for Geraldine. Pure favoritism right there.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
She doesn't have that lovable charm that Jerry used to have. The creators are trying so hard to make her personality like season 1 to 3 Jerry for some reason. And let's be honest, he wasn't the best at that time either. And I'm gonna be pretty blunt here. Zerlina is the most boring new character ever. Her dynamic with the girls is extremely stiff, and they still cannot be comfortable with her yet. She comes off as so strict and cold that it's so hard for the girls to be comfortable with her and have a genuine bond like they did with Jerry. Obviously, they've just met this character, and obviously they cannot have an extreme great bond just yet. But the way I see it, it just doesn't seem as flexible as with Jerry. According to Winky, and that's not me saying it, she is more relatable apparently because she is more of this generation than the last one, just cause she's more tech savvy and knows more about the world like they do. Sure, Jerry could be a little cringe, but he was enjoyable cringe. I feel like creators are trying to make characters way too relatable in terms of tech and technology, which ends up making them less relatable. And what do you mean Jerry was less tech savvy than Zerlina? He created all those gadgets. What are you talking about? Although I like how they're introducing more and more WOOHP agents that are not just the girls or not just people in black tusks. In the latest episode, Overstimulated, we were introduced to a few more spies working for WOOHP. Why is it that they always pick teenagers or young adults? On to the next character, Mandy. Oh my god, there's so much to talk about her. Oh my god, where to start with her? First off, from the very first episode, she remembers that she was once a spy back in season 2 and literally calls Jerry. First off, how does she have his number? Even the girls don't have his number. This also explains the ending of the second episode. Why else should she come to Singapore? She has absolutely no reason. She hates those 3. But she came to Singapore because Clover and the girls did, since she remembers she was a spy. She probably suspects that they are sent there because of a mission or somewhat, and therefore decides to move there as well to prove to Jerry and Zerlina that she can become a spy once again. Because anytime the girls mention something regarding their mission, even subtly, she notices every little bit. And that's because she knows they're spies too. And some of you might disagree with me here, but I really want Mandy to become a spy once again. I know she's really annoying and obnoxious, but the only reason she failed last time was because she was gone out into it, was because she was sent onto a mission without any training. The same cannot be said for Sam, Clover, and Alex, which is seen in the movie where they're actually trained first, then sent to on a mission, and even then they pretty much screwed up half of the time. Plus, now that she's older, she seems a little less obnoxious and a bit more mature comparatively, but she's still a total A to the girls, so, you know. Not only that, but she's actually really smart if she's supposed to be a critic for video games. She spent an entire summer on tech camp, so she may even be on par with Sam regarding technology. Here's my theory. Because she is being refused to become a spy by Jerry and Zerlina, probably, she may be the one who is Cybertrack. She may be Cybertrack. Why? Because it's all based on technology and AI and all that. And there have been increasing constant reminders that she went to tech camp for some reason. Why would they continuously emphasize on that? And I get it, she turned into a villain and tried to destroy all the spies, but that was because of the inventor, not her fault, technically. And mind you, I have not seen episode from 14 to 26 because they're not available where I live. So I could be wrong, obviously, and I could be right. You know what bugs me? That one of the episodes is titled Glitter Spy. How is it that someone who just became friends with the spies, with Sam, Clover, and Alex, tend to get more favoritism than someone who's actually been putting an effort? Mandy could be a great asset to WOOHP if they give her a chance. Because let's face it, most of the things she gets is not through her own effort. This is something she's actually learned and worked for. Honestly, I think Mandy will be the most interesting character this season. Sure, she is a pain in the behind, but still. And of course, during the episode, supervillains. I mean, you can't just change her personality overnight. And she still hates the girls. That doesn't mean she was not going to be mean to them. Just less mean comparatively. Haven't you noticed how she hasn't really done anything to them? Like we saw a lot throughout the previous 6 seasons. And I'm sure she has a spy gene, because why else would she constantly be in between the spy mission? Am I favoring her a bit too much? Maybe. But I don't care. Hey, I didn't say she wasn't horrible. As for Toby, he is basically the human replacement for Gladys. And in a way is a good addition to the team because there are very few male spies in WOOHP. At least on-field spies. And he tend to get the girls out of a lot of sticky situations thanks to his gadgets. But here's the thing. He may be helping them way too much and making the girls look a bit useless. It feels like they constantly need to be saved by Toby. In the episode Overstimulate, it made sense for Toby to be the first one to fail the test. However, he should have suspected something was wrong with the system since he's the one who created it. Is the fact that he barely goes out on the field. I wish he would team up with the girls and also go out on the field more. That would show him his skills as a fighter. Because let's face it, WOOHP does not recruit spies just for their intelligence. They have to recruit them for their skills as well, in combat specifically. They have to be intellectually smart and physically strong and have the spy gene. Lastly, in accordance to Toby, I hope he becomes at least one of the girls' love interests, so he becomes endgame for at least one of them. I honestly thought that Blaine would be the endgame for Clover. Why? They totally ruined his character. Like, he is absolutely useless at this point. Where did his personality go? The girls team up with Blaine in order to catch a key champion kidnapper. The girls are partnered up with Blaine for this mission, with Alex and Blaine disguised as competitors. Alex getting a little too competitive, but Blaine just completely flips his personalities in season 6. It's as if the blimp episode never happened. Blaine and Clover broke up off scene and aren't together anymore. So why is he acting like he still likes her? And Clover being all over him even though she knows they're not together is even weirder. And are randomly acting like a couple again? Either make them endgame or just move on and stop messing with us. I wish they stay consistent with these two. Or give him some sort of arc because he's become completely boring. Genuinely hoping each character have their own centric episode, like what they did with Miraculous Ladybug, just better, hopefully. Speaking of couples, these girls have been dating since high school, and when will they find a partner? Not saying that's the end game, but still, like, we've seen these girls crushing on how many guys, and they're still single. Last but not least, the big bad of this season, Cybertrack. He's interesting because he's one of the, or if not the only character to escape apprehension in his debut episode. As I said before, I think he is actually Mandy as a response to Zerlina's rejection of not becoming a spy. If that's the case, her semi-redemption arc goes right down the drain. I'm not saying the girls and Mandy have to be all buddy-buddy just because she becomes a spy. No, I would not forgive such a person either. But with her being a bit more older, she's gotten a bit more mature and less obnoxious, and maybe she'll change her ways. And they don't have to forgive her, but they can just tolerate her, and vice versa. The problem with Cybertrack is the fact that he's supposed to be the overarching villain, but he's only appeared in one episode so far. And sure, he's definitely interesting as to who is behind the mask, but until we get more information or more episodes, he's just a random villain. All I hope for is that he's not someone completely random and he actually has a plan in mind. The rest of the villains from throughout these episodes are pretty decent and okay, like enough for the formula for the villain of the week. My favorite episode so far is Super Villains Undercover because that was a unique story. And that's all I have to say for this video. Let me know what you think about Totally Spies so far, and make sure to click that subscribe button and like this video. Bye!